Coming up on 13 on your side at 10, a major increase in reward money for anyone who has information leading to an arrest. How much is up for grabs? Plus, a series of car thefts in San Luis, a look at what vehicles are being targeted and where they're being stolen from. And a native human is putting their name in a hat, announcing their candidacy for the open Arizona House seat. What issues they're looking to tackle. We'll have all this and more coming up right now on 13 on your side.
You're watching KSWT 13 on your side.
Thank you for joining us tonight on 13 on your side. I'm Blake Keller in for Mark Schofield. I'm glad you could be with us tonight. Yuma police are still looking for the arsonist responsible for setting the Mesa Heights apartment complex ablaze about a week ago, leaving multiple families without a home. Now, the reward money that is available to anyone with information has increased to $10,000. The apartment complex was under construction at the time. Video surveillance shows two men scaling the fence and dousing the apartments. There's about $500,000 worth of damages. In San Luis, police officers responded to the streets of San Luis on February 1st after shots were fired. Officers arrived to the intersection of Cesar Chavez Street and C Street. There, they found a man who had been shot in the leg. Witnesses say it was after an argument with the suspect who is on the run. Anyone with information should call the San Luis Police Department. And two people died following a wreck in Calexico. It was just before 7 last night. It was on Interstate 8 just east of Incapa Park Road. The California Highway Patrol are trying to figure out why the driver's Nissan Altima slammed into the guardrail on Boulder Creek Bridge. The driver has not yet been identified, but we're told both he and the 23-year-old female passenger from Calexico died at the scene. Neither were wearing their seatbelt. And a series of car thefts in San Luis has left residents alarmed. Since the year began, it's been 7 cars that have been stolen while the owners are working inside of the Advanced Call Center building. This, according to one of the victims, Amy Sexton. She says all of the cars were Hondas, a popular vehicle among car thieves, stolen from a popular parking area close to ACT's property. Sexton says her car was stolen around 10 in the morning and then was driven across the border into Mexico. But it wasn't just her car. Other belongings left in the car, including her passport, were also stolen.
I'm just out of a car, and all of us are out of a car, and it's, messed up. We work for a living, we work and buy our stuff, and, now I got to figure out how to buy another car. It's not easy,
I spoke with the San Luis Police Department, who says they are investigating the car thefts happening in the city. And a 2-year-old lawsuit against Yuma County finally came to an end. It was January of 2016. Samantha Williams filed a lawsuit against the county after Eric Frost, a former YCSO deputy, crashed into her car while rushing to an emergency situation. Williams said Frost drove in a reckless manner. The accident happened on the intersection of Avenue 3E and 32nd Street. Monday, Yuma County board members concluded both drivers were at fault and approved a $25,000 settlement to the victim. And there is yet another phone scam targeting people in Yuma County. Authorities say to hang up and do not give callers any money. This time, the Yuma County Sheriff's Office says the callers claim to be an officer or an IRS agent who is demanding payment for overdue taxes. If they're not settled immediately, you'll be arrested. If you feel like you've fallen victim, contact your local law enforcement. And a 42-year-old man from Mexico was caught trying to bring 31 pounds of meth through the Calexico port of entry. He was in a pickup truck, but the meth was hidden inside the axles of the trailer he was towing. If the meth made it through, it would have been worth more than $40,000. He's now being held at the Imperial County Jail. And the suspect in the shooting death of an off-duty fire captain says he felt threatened, but those who knew Kyle Breyer say that wasn't in his nature. Aldo Vasquez has more.
A pain so heavy,
we were fortunate enough to have him land here.
It's too hard to put into words.
He did so much in his very, very short time with us.
This man, 21-year-old Hezron Parks, accused of pulling the trigger that ended the life of 34-year-old Kyle Breyer, a 10-year veteran of the Tempe Fire Department, a Marine, businessman, and a man not done living his life.
But I can tell you Kyle lived, and he was meant to live longer.
According to documents, Parks admitted to shooting Breyer in the head because he felt threatened. Threatening, friends say, was not in Kyle's nature.
He was not the type to go looking for a fight.
I spoke to one of the people on the golf cart with Breyer that night, who said that Parks was riding too close and bumping their golf cart. Breyer only got off at a stop sign and was standing at the front of the car when he was shot. A senseless act of violence, leaving an entire community heartbroken.
It's difficult to lose a family member.
Loved ones will hold on to their memories of Kyle. Melissa Locklar first met him 6 years ago and says she'll remember the time she helped him meet one of his favorite artists, Gary Allan.
I knew it would mean more for Kyle to meet Gary Allan. And I actually gave him that meet and greet, and everybody was kind of mad about it. But, you know, Kyle deserved it because he is a giving person.
Residents in the foothills allege that some of the far west sewer systems are giving off a sewer gas smell. They say that the terrible smell is affecting their life, and on warmer days the smell is unbearable. One homeowner says he believes sewage is the culprit.
Kept getting these weird waves of smell. Up by September, I reached out to Far West, and they told me, well, you'll notice the odor because some of the snowbirds are starting to come back, and the system gets a little overwrought. And I voiced my concern to them and lodged a complaint with them, as I've done 3 months running, and they don't really do anything.
Homeowners have reported the problem several times to the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality. Back in early December, an inspector went out to the area but found no odors present. And the manager of Far West Water tells us they are in compliance with the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality. And a local farmer and Yuma native is vying for the Arizona House seat that has been left vacant after former Representative Don Shooter was expelled. Tim Dunn, a native Yuman, is a local farmer and business owner. Dunn says after the House's decision to expel Shooter and open the seat last week, concerned citizens called him to ask him to run. Dunn has been politically active for the past 20 years and wants to be the voice for Yuma County. Dunn says bringing issues pertinent to Yuma to the Capitol is paramount to his candidacy.
Water rights and land use and the state budget. Those are the critical things that we have to do as a state legislature. And so I think that knowing the concerns, because the water issues in Yuma are vastly different than the water issues in Central Arizona, and how to have that mix and that discussion is crucial.
And Dunn adds that taxes and fiscal responsibility of the state budget is important for Yuma County. Dunn says if he gets the appointment of the seat, he will be willing and able to run a campaign to serve the 13th legislative district in August for the primary election. And a reminder, the Yuma County Precinct Committee will be choosing 3 nominees on Thursday, and a candidate for the seat will be chosen Monday by the Yuma County Board of Supervisors. For the latest, stick with us here on 13 on Your Side. And our Republican Arizona Senator Jeff Flake sharply criticized President Trump again today for suggesting Democrats who didn't stand and applaud him during the State of the Union are un-American, even treasonous. Flake has been a frequent critic of the president.
I have seen the president's most ardent defenders use the now weary argument that the president's comments were meant as a joke, just sarcasm, only tongue-in-cheek. But treason is not a punchline, Mr. President.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said Tuesday the president was clearly joking when he made the comment. Flake is not running for re-election. Instead, our choices will be Joe Arpaio, Kelly Ward, Martha McSally, and Kirsten Sinema. And with less than 72 hours remaining to avert a government shutdown, President Trump is suggesting that idea might not be so bad. The comments came during a roundtable discussion at the White House on combating MS-13 gang violence, and as his chief of staff came under fire for his controversial comments on DACA. Weijia Zhang has the latest from the White House.
This vote, the yeas are 245, the nays are 182.
House lawmakers voted Tuesday night to pass a short-term spending bill, keeping the government open until March 23rd.
I'd love to see a shutdown.
The move came just hours after President Trump welcomed the idea of another government shutdown, should congressional Democrats fail to crack down on illegal immigration on his terms.
If we have to shut it down because the Democrats don't want safety, and unrelated but still related, they don't want to take care of our military, then shut it down.
The White House later said the president isn't looking for a shutdown. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle quickly pounced on the remarks.
He's the only guy that finds anything good in a shutdown.
We obviously need to do border security. We'll do it as part of the DACA fix, but we don't need a shutdown to get there.
The president's chief of staff, General John Kelly, is also coming under fire for his characterization of undocumented immigrants who haven't signed up for the expiring DACA program.
The difference between 690 and 1.8 million were the people that some would say were too afraid to sign up, others would say were too lazy to get off their asses, but they didn't sign up.
Late Tuesday, General Kelly backpedaled.
Some of them didn't hear about the program, hard to believe, but okay. Some of them were perhaps a little bit concerned about signing up.
DACA triggered last month's government shutdown, which lasted for 3 days. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, the White House.
And the House-approved measure does not provide funding for the border wall or a fix for the DACA program protecting undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. It's still unclear whether Senate lawmakers will pass it.
And here's a look at our Nissan-sponsored tower cam. And you can see it's pretty clear out there. Check out those stars if you're outside and the moon. And let's take a look at our current temperatures and see where we're at right now. So here in Yuma, we're down to those lower 70s. In Blythe, 71 degrees at the moment. And El Centro, 61 degrees. Again, our normal's around 73 this time of year. Our high today, well above that. But we didn't break our 91-degree record that was back in 1963. As for our temperatures for the rest of the morning, for you early risers will be in those 50s around 6 a.m. and for El Centro most of the night in those 50s. But what can we expect for the rest of tomorrow and the evening and the rest of the week as well? We'll have the full forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, thanks for that, Erica. Pesticides are used throughout the desert Southwest in order to maintain healthy crops that result in the $3 billion ag industry. But are they safe for residents living nearby? What about the ag workers? In an exclusive report, 13 on Your Side investigates pesticides to see how it's impacting your health. We'll have that report exclusively on 13 on Your Side Wednesday at 6 p.m. And coming up next on 13 on Your Side, a crackdown on unlicensed plastic surgeons. A look at how many fraudulent doctors were found. Plus, sheriff in Colorado says his biggest fears came true after losing one of his deputies Monday night.
You're watching KSWT 13 on Your Side.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us here on 13 on Your Side. The state of Baja California, Mexico is cracking down on unlicensed plastic surgeons. Today, the state's health department said they found more than 100 fraudulent doctors all over the state. Some of the illegal procedures include liposuction. Officials say there are only 93 certified surgeons in the entire state, and so far they've conducted 50 inspections.
We have suspended 20 medical centers, including spas, all over the state. For example, we have noticed that there were some otorhinolaryngologists, dentists, and other doctors with different specialties doing cosmetic surgeries, and they cannot do that.
There have been 50 inspections in the state. Only 93 surgeons are certified. In 2015, an Australian 29-year-old woman died in Mexicali by having a plastic surgery liposuction at the medical center of Dr. Victor Ramirez. He was suspended by the Surgeons Association. He was declared not guilty by Mexican authorities. And the city of Calexico prepares for their 110th anniversary with a week-long list of activities. They have art exhibits, downtown parade, historical tours of local landmarks, and a concert at Rockwood Park at a projected cost of $40,000. All this at a time of financial crisis for the city when city employees are being laid off. City officials say the community will pay for the party through sponsorships. They hope the event will bring unity and strength to the area at a time of need.
However, we also have a community that is absolutely resilient in knowing that although the administration of a city can be upside down, the community is still very excited about what this represents, and we feel it. And we honestly did have conversations, and we did have a conversation in council as well.
And the Calexico anniversary runs April 10th through the 16th. And a sheriff's deputy was killed in Colorado Springs on Monday. Authorities said they were trying to detain a car theft suspect when the suspect opened fire, shooting and killing 34-year-old deputy Micah Flick. 3 other law enforcement officers and a bystander were also wounded. No word on their conditions. The gunman was killed. His identity has not been released. Flick is survived by a wife and 7-year-old twins.
On my first day as sheriff of El Paso County, I was asked what my biggest fear was. My response was that my fear was losing a member of this family to tragedy in the line of duty. And last night, that fear became a reality.
And Flick was the 3rd Colorado deputy killed in the line of duty since New Year's Eve.
Coming up after the break, I'll have the full weather forecast. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're going to start off with our current wind conditions right now. It is a bit breezy up there in Blythe with winds coming from the north. As for Imperial Valley and Yuma County, it is looking pretty light right now. Our current temperatures in Salton City were in those 60s, 63 degrees out there. Same thing in Holtville, 61 in Brawley and 68 degrees in Mexicali. As for here in Yuma, we're at 71, 67 for YPG, 55 in Quartzsite, and 70 degrees at the moment in Dateland. And across the board, just making a comparison here with those temperatures, you can definitely see the differences out there. And our satellite and radar definitely shows us what we've been seeing these last couple of days. Clear blue skies, and we don't see anything here on our satellite and radar. There was some cloud cover that made its way through the corner of Arizona, but other than that, it's been pretty clear. Now here's a look at our future wind conditions. Tomorrow we will see some gusts up to 20 miles per hour in Yuma and other parts of our region, so it will be slightly breezy out there, but not windy, not too windy. And we do have this high pressure system that's still here to the west, and you notice we are in that orange right there. But if we fast forward to the weekend, it shifts a little bit to the west and we're in that yellow and even heading into the green. That's why we're going to see our temperatures go down. We're going to get a little bit more cooler air into our region and see those temperatures dip down to those 70s. So we've been in those 80s the last week because of that high pressure system. And here's our future scan for the next couple of days. We're expected to see a clear blue skies again, just like we've been seeing, but over the weekend we could possibly see some rain in some parts of Arizona and even some snow up in Flagstaff. And here's a look at those overnight lows. Quartzsite will be 50 degrees, Blythe 52, Imperial 50, and Salton City 52 degrees. As for those high temperatures tomorrow, Welton will be 84, Quartzsite 76, 80 for Blythe, and for Imperial and El Centro, our high is going to be 81 degrees. Remember, our normal's around 73 for this time of the year. Now, our temperatures throughout the day in Yuma will be around 72 degrees at 11 a.m. By 3 p.m., 80 degrees. But if you're heading out of town, here's what we can expect for San Diego. Will be in those mid to upper 70s. Phoenix, 80 degrees, and Flagstaff, the high is 54. And our 7-day forecast for you. Little breezy tomorrow, and then you notice Sunday we dip down to those 70s. Overnight lows will be in those 50s for the upcoming week. And Imperial Valley, we'll see our overnight lows actually dip to those 40s when we notice those highs also go down to those 70s early next week. Feel free to connect with me on social media. I'm on Facebook and Twitter. You can also send over those weather pictures or weather videos to erica.cataray@kswt.com. Stay with us. We'll have more news after the break.
You're watching KSWT 13 on your side.
Welcome back, everyone. Starting this summer, a large electronics store is making CDs a thing of the past. Today, Best Buy announced starting July 1st, they will be taking CDs off the shelves due to low sales. According to the Consumer Affairs in 2017, an estimated 89 million units of CDs were sold compared to the 800 million sold in 2001. With so many streaming options to choose from to listen to your music like Spotify or Apple Music, We asked locals if they will miss the shiny disc that we all used to play.
I don't know, I just think it's really sad just because, I mean, as a 90s kid, you grow up with CDs and a CD player. So now thinking of someone or like our future children not having that, I don't know. It's just...
I don't know, I mean, just kind of weird because a lot of people were used to CDs back in the day. So now it's like all technology-wise, USBs. I mean, all phone-wise, basically Bluetooth and stuff.
Oh yeah, we have a ton of them.
We don't buy a new car every year. That's what's in our vehicles.
I think it's a bad idea.
I think it's a bad idea.
Because, I mean, we have a CD player in the car.
And I bought them at both places.
And everybody's going to have to buy a turntable so they can listen to vinyl. I don't think it's a good idea.
And that brings us to our topic of the day today. So Linda Florence wrote on our Facebook, I love browsing through CDs in hopes of finding something I like. It's just not the same on Amazon. And Dave Parsons added that he didn't see CDs at the El Centro location Best Buy a few weeks ago. And Brian King asked, people still buy CDs, and says, I haven't even burned a music CD in about 6 years. That was my thing when I was a younger child, was burning CDs of all my favorite songs. All right. And you can always weigh in on our topic of the day, either on Facebook, Twitter, or our website at KSWT.com. And the scientists at Doritos are apparently hard at work developing chips that crunch less and make fewer crumbs. PepsiCo's suggestion these cleaner Doritos may be marketed to women is leaving some people stale. Jeannie Mose has the details.
Let the chips fall where they may.
Lady Doritos?
I think I can eat the crunchiest, messiest Dorito I want and enjoy the hell out of it.
Sounds like she has a chip on her shoulder after the CEO of PepsiCo suggested her company was developing chips for her because men eat Doritos differently from women.
And they lick their fingers with great glee.
Cheese. And guys like to tip back the bag. Yeah, men like to be macho with their nachos. While women...
They don't like to crunch too loudly in public. They don't lick their fingers generously.
Tell that to this former Miss Australia.
I definitely lick my fingers after. I love it.
Even a network morning show host couldn't resist.
No, I do not want a silent chip.
No, I love a loud crunch.
Because there's no more appropriate snack for the Me Too era than a chip that tells women to be quiet.
The only quiet chips are stale chips, tweeted model Chrissy Teigen. Read another comment, my generation marched so future generations of women could enjoy Lady Doritos.
Go tell Sojourner Truth and Susan B. Anthony they can finally rest in peace.
Sing it, sister.
Though PepsiCo's CEO promised snacks designed and packaged for women would launch soon, the company said, we already have Doritos for women. They're called Doritos. Some men stood up for women's right to crunch.
Just as loudly and obnoxiously as men do.
But there are worse things than eating low-crunch lady chips.
Oh my God, did you just eat that? Relax. Axel clipped his toenails in the chip bag. You just ate Axel's toenails. Oh!
Tweeted one crunchy Doritos fan. Can we just get quiet bags instead? Jeannie Mose.
And licking your fingers is cool?
If I'm at home.
CNN, New York.
All right, I love me a good chip crunch. Alrighty, coming up next on 13 on Your Side, another bright light in the sky. Up next, we'll look at whether the world's most powerful rocket had a successful launch. We'll be right back. And the world's most powerful rocket, the Falcon Heavy, took flight Tuesday from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The rocket was built by aerospace company SpaceX, headed by billionaire Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Take a look at that video. That's awesome. SpaceX was able to direct two side boosters to land upright back on Earth in a never-before-seen feat. Well, that will do it for us here on 13 on Your Side. Have a good night.
Watch Blake Keller weekends on KSWT 13 on Your Side.